As the country mourns the passing of Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu, congregants of the Holy Cross Anglican Church in Soweto say this was the time to celebrate his life. Our Ahmed Kajee was there for us. He filed this report.
Following the passing of Archbishop Desmond Tutu earlier this morning, people at the Anglican Church in Soweto, where he had initially started with his career, have spoken out about his career and what their reflections actually are about the late Archbishop. Joining me right now is one of the worshippers here, is Mr. Wandi Ndala. Mr. Ndala, thank you very much for your time today. Your reflections on the Archbishop's life and his role at the church.
Well, Archbishop Tutu, he was a guy, he was a man, he was a boy, he was everything to us. He was the first black southern bishop in South Africa, and that was a very good thing that happened during apartheid. And it is when he came back from London, he came back straight here, and he was a straight talker. He was a person who really, he's a leader in the country. As you can, Bishop, he was not even afraid of politicians. He could tell them straight what he felt. And even in church, he will tell people straight talk that anything that we do that is bad in front of the eyes of God is not accepted. He was always, having jokes at the same time. I remember when he smiles, sometimes he laughs, you won't understand whether he's laughing or he's smiling, or, he was a very good person.
How will you remember him for his role that he has played in the Soweto community?
Well, I remember him when he was in the reconciling, because truth and reconciliation, that period during the time that they were asking for pardon, for people who were asking for pardon, especially the white people, the Boers, like for pickpocket and so on. He used to tell them straight that they were driven by the devil and so on. And what is important is that when he cried, he will touch our hearts. When he also heard things that were happening during apartheid, and when people were asking for pardon, he will cry, and then we all get touched. Although things were very good at that time, and then we were celebrating that we are going to live in love with our people, loving each other as a nation and so on. He was driving us to do that, but it doesn't seem that it's still happening. It will take time to people to unite together and love each other as a nation. As he was saying to us that we must love each other as a nation. That is a very important thing that Bishop Tutu used to emphasize, to love one another in the country. And most especially the politicians, he used to tell them that they mustn't waste money, the money that people really pay as taxes and so on. He was emphasizing that, and they always, when he talked, he was against what is wrong in the country.
Mr. Ndala, how do you feel right now about the Archbishop's passing?
Well, as a Christian, we know that he must give, must go and rest in peace and rise in glory. Nothing, we have to celebrate his life, and we know that we learned a lot from him. So we don't cry. You don't need to cry. You need just to celebrate and say you've done your work.
Mr. Ndala, thank you very much for your time today. We massively appreciate it. That's Mr. Wandi Ndala, who is a congregant here at the Holy Cross Anglican Church in Soweto, just reflecting on the life of the late Archbishop Desmond Tutu, who sadly passed away earlier this morning at his home in Cape Town. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Ahmed Kajee in Soweto.